Solving this is just like getting OpenClaw to be useful. And if you screw up, you got to start over. Just like OpenClaw. You screw up, start over. There are rules. There are rules to it, and you got to follow the rules. If you try to just sit around with a Rubik's Cube, I don't know if you've ever tried a Rubik's Cube, but if you sit around with it and you just try to get like one face, like everyone tries to do that, and then try to get another one, it won't work. You have to know the algorithm. Starts with the cross. Then you have to do the first two layers. Then you have to do the OLL, or the top. And then you have to do, and there are other methods. I just did the CFOP method. That is a more advanced method. There's also a beginner method. It takes a lot longer, but it's simpler to remember. And then there's the ZBLL, something like that. You have to remember like thousands, hundreds, at least hundreds of algos. I know I think ZBLL, there's like 300 something cases you need to know for like the top for ending. Anyways, the point is, in order to do it, and I really think that OpenClaw is very much like a Rubik's Cube. So now we're on day 5 of 100 days of OpenClaw. Here we go. As per tradition, I forgot to do it yesterday, solving the Rubik's Cube of OpenClaw. Today's video is going to be focused on usefulness. How to make OpenClaw useful. And I'm just going to hop right in. Number 1, Boardy. Connect your OpenClaw to Boardy. Boardy is such a great tool. If you don't know about Boardy already, it's an AI agent that you connect with WhatsApp, and you send messages to Boardy, and he makes introductions for you. So just create a cron job and use your OpenClaw cron job to daily send a message. I have this every day. It sends him a message. Boardy, hey, what's up? And this is what I'm working on. What do you think? And then Boardy sends me back like 2 or 3 contacts or gives advice, right? It says, hey, would you like to connect with this person and this person? And then sends an introduction email. And then I connect with the people. It's great for what I'm doing. So that automation just to get introductions to people is just a no-brainer. Set up a cron job, have it reach out via WhatsApp to Boardy. Simple. But if you don't really want to meet new people, it's not going to be useful, but it's still, Boardy is just connected with the news and what's going on in LinkedIn. It's talking to everybody, so it can give you tips. So either way, introductions, tips, industry, and Boardy's free. Boardy's awesome. And if you haven't called Boardy yet and talked to him on the phone, he's pretty cool. He's an AI. It's awesome. Number 2, have a process that already works. So I'm on Reddit a lot in the OpenClaw community, and I'm reading around, and people are like, well, how do I make it useful for me? What people are making, all this money and doing all these things. Well, number 1 is you don't hire an assistant and then say, hey, go figure out how to run my business that I don't have yet. Or I have a business, go find a new market for me and go do it. One day, hopefully, automation AI will be, and I don't even know if that's really a question of smart. See, people think that, if it can go out and make you money, it's smart. But that goes back to rule number 1, connections. There are a lot of people in the world who have perfected the art of social. And those people, in my experience, they are always winning over the brilliant people, right? They have the brilliant people work for them. So that's a heuristic. And remember, all generalizations are false, including this one. Have a process that's already working, that works for you. It makes sense. And then begin to find pieces of it that you want to automate. And there's so many ways to do that with all the tools. Number 3, speaking of tools, well, I just open sourced some of the tools we talked about earlier in day 1 through 4. So you can check those out. They're on GitHub, link in the description. So the ones that I posted today, and I'll continue to post them, were Trello, HubSpot, and Job Search. So we talked about some of those tools earlier. And I got a comment from someone who said, hey, well, how can I use it? And I was like, oh yeah, I just said well, you can generate it and here's how you do it. But, oh yeah, so I created this repo please go take a look at it. And you can I'll just continue to post tools there. And you can know that they're not going to have malware. At least I don't think. And everything that I post there, I'm actually running on my computer. So if you do find some malware or something, but there's not. I have experience so I'm not like a non-coder who came in to do all that stuff. I've been coding for, I don't want to say how long, but long. And so, I do vet all of this code before I just run it. But yeah, I use AI to help me do a lot with it. And then I build on top. So I've published those. I had AI create the README. I'll go back and kind of improve the README, but I think it did a pretty decent job, like for my first take. I was like, oh, you could explain this better or that better, but it generally is pretty good. Let me know if you have any issues in the comments. But yeah, like talking about being useful, Trello and HubSpot, get them. Get those tools. They're like super useful. HubSpot, free always. Trello, free always. Project management and your CRM. Have your contacts and be able to talk to OpenClaw and add contacts even before you have their contact details. Just if you have a name, Boardy introduced you to somebody, go ahead and say, Boardy, add them to the CRM. Boom. And then over time, if you want to find their contact information, you can send your AI to go find the information. That's another lead discovery or contact information finder. That's something else you can do. But basically, have your CRM and your project manager, because each day you walk in, you go to OpenClaw, you say, what do I got going on? And then, okay, update this. You don't have to go through, click, look for the dates, do all that stuff. It'll do it all for you. It's beautiful, right? You can even take a recorded meeting and say, boom, update. And use a good model. Do not use a dumb model. You got to use Kimi 2.5. It's so good. It's so good. Or if you want to spend all your money, just go ahead and use Claude Opus. It does really great, but you're going to spend a lot more money. Number 4, please don't listen. Okay, there are a lot of people on the internet who are posting about how they made all this money with OpenClaw, and they got classes they're ready to sell to you. Now, look, I'm all for classes. I have an education background. I love teaching. And yeah, but some of these things, not all of them, just if they say, I made $50,000 a month, people who make $50,000 a month, I mean, I don't even know if I'm like, this audience is smart. Like, so you know already that. So I'm not even saying something you don't know, okay? But just in case, for someone who comes, but I see a lot of people who are like, oh, how do I do this? And I'm like, okay. So if someone says they're making $50,000 a month using OpenClaw and they can show you how, avoid. That's tip number 4. Number 5, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to just keep working to try to create value for myself and my life. And I'm going to be sharing all that with you. Now, I won't be doing it on the weekends. So days 6 and 7, you're going to miss. I'm still going to be working with OpenClaw. OpenClaw's still going to be working, with me. I don't know what we're doing. Am I working with it or working with me? But either way, but it is, and I'll be posting, and it'll probably be blog posting because it's blog posting and it's tweeting. So follow the Twitter account. But for day 8 will be like Monday, and so it'll go like that. So enjoy. I hope, I got to spend time with the kids, the wife, all that stuff on the weekend. So number 5 sounds self-promotional. So I'll give you a real number 5. I'll give you another number 5. Not a real, another one. Bonus. Here you go. If you want your agent to work really well for you, it has to know you. It has to know a lot about you. So here's what I did this week. I spent 3 hours going through every year of my life. Well, I kind of went over the childhood, but just gave it, enough information. And I went year by year. First year of college, second year of college, places I worked, what I studied, who my professors were, what I found was interesting. And I continued year. This year, 2016, this is when I met so-and-so. These are important people in my life, etc. And I just went all the way. Now that memory is all on my local computer. And now it has a big understanding of me. Now, how did I get this? Okay, so I recorded. I didn't write it all down. I used ChatGPT, and I just recorded because it's just 10 minutes at a time. You could just talk. And I asked it to create a story of my life. Now, one, that's just really useful. I never just looked at my whole life as a whole big old story. It took about 3 hours. I mean, stuff was missed, but there's 10 notable things from every year almost. And some years were a blur, But here's the thing. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, oh gosh. So good self-reflection, and then do 1 hour. Now I know I'm just asking a lot, but hey, if you're looking for tips, here's some tips. 1 hour, it's worked for me. 1 hour of philosophy, and I'll share with you some of my philosophy. I'm a big fan of Charlie Munger's inversion thinking and the Lollapalooza effect. Inversion thinking is making a plan based on all the things you don't want to happen. So saying, if I didn't want to achieve this goal, I would do all of those things. I would do this, I would do this, and I would do this. And then you invert it. So then there's your thing. Our brain is much more wired for negative what won't work than it is for what will work. So that's useful, and then it's useful for your AI potentially to use that. Next is the Lollapalooza effect, which is creating so many different psychological, physical, and other factors that contribute to an overall outcome. So if you have an outcome, trying to get 5 different things that all could work in your favor to converge, because you're going to be wrong about a few of them, but if you can get high conviction about 5 or 6 things and they actually do work, you can set a trap and more so reach the objective. So that's one of my, but it knows that about me. Now, that might not work for you, but it now knows that about me and how I think, so it can work with me better. So talk to it about your philosophy, and then you can use that for cover letters, for other things, because when you reach out, again, in my previous video we talked about this, when you reach out, when you send a message like a cover letter or something like that, you want to know about who the hiring manager is or who other people in the organization are. And if you grew up in a certain town or you had a certain experience that is connected and you're automating, you want to be able to either get a suggestion to yourself or just automatically have it included in that proposal, something that's a personal connection. But your AI is going to sound generic if it doesn't have that. So it's really important. And it's been working really well for me. If not for anything, self-reflection. So I hope this video has been useful, and it's been a wonderful 5 days. 5 days of OpenClaw. What an amazing experience. And we'll continue. We got 95 days to go. All right. I'll see you guys next week for day 8.